So, hello everyone. I'm Lama Döndrup, and I am the resident Lama at Sukhasiddhi Foundation, which is a Shangpa Kagyu Center in Fairfax, California. And I'm here today to present an informational session on a meditation program that we have starting on April 26th. So I wanted to let you know about that program and be available for any questions that you may have. You're welcome to put questions in the comments, and we'll do my best to answer those while we're in the session. And if the session ends before that is complete, I will do that in the comments afterwards. So Sukhasiddhi Foundation is a center in Fairfax, California, founded by Lama Palden. And it is, I'm a bit biased because I've been a part of this community for a long time, but I find Sukhasiddhi Foundation, the Sangha, the community, to be very warm and caring and welcoming, and more than anything, a group of very sincere, dedicated Dharma practitioners, and just a really wonderful group of people. And I'm just so grateful to be a part of that Sangha. And so I wanted to let you know about ways you can participate if you're interested. And first, I also want to say that we are a center that is very much dedicated to creating a safe and welcoming environment where one can really relax and do the work needed to awaken on the spiritual path. So we welcome everyone, regardless of age, regardless of religion, regardless of racial background, sexual identity, gender identity. Everyone is welcome. We recognize everyone's Buddha nature. So at Sukhasiddhi, we have a series of 4 programs that are sequential and that students can participate in. And these programs essentially take students from a very foundational level of understanding through Döndrup practice, through the basic curriculum of a 3-year retreat. And what's so beneficial about this program is that, or the series of programs, is that you have access to those advanced practices that happen in 3-year retreat, and that doesn't happen in daily life too often. So this is an opportunity to start on a very fundamental level and work your way all the way through the entire curriculum of the Shangpa Kagyu, all the practices of the Shangpa Kagyu. And we do this in the midst of daily life. So there's a benefit in that while doing it in daily life, one is continually integrating the practice. And there is a unique benefit to this as opposed to going into 3-year retreat and coming out and kind of integrating everything in one shot or over many years, but not as you're doing the practice. So it's an interesting format, and it has worked really well for many people. So the 4 programs are, we have the Dharma training program, and that's what I'm here to primarily talk to you about today. And in this program, we basically lay the foundation, and I'll give you lots of detail about that. And then the next program is the Bodhi program. And this is a program where students go through the Döndrup practice, the 4 foundational practices. And then once that's complete, students move into the Shangpa program. And that's where the bulk of the 3-year retreat curriculum is gone through and practiced. And then beyond that, once one has graduated from the Shangpa program, you move into what's called the Vajra Sangha. And at that point, you continue with advanced studies one-on-one with one of the Lamas, and really act as a leader and guide for other beings, other people in the Sangha. So the Dharma training program, we have, this takes place in modules, and we have a module starting on April 26th, a week from tomorrow, or a week from Sunday, excuse me. And so in this program, we are laying down the foundation, and so studying the practices, the principles, the philosophy of the Mahayana and Vajrayana paths. So this program is appropriate for students who are new to meditation, also appropriate for people who have years of experience, but maybe in another tradition, a tradition other than Vajrayana, or for people who have been meditating for years but haven't felt they've been on a systematic path and have had guidance along the path. And this is an opportunity to step into that. Or for those who, in the West, we have access to an infinite number of meditations and practices and traditions, which is a great blessing. It's extraordinary. And also, one can kind of get lost in this ocean of different practices and traditions. And it's essential. It's not just important, it's essential on the spiritual path to ultimately choose one path and follow it to completion. And this is an opportunity to do that. So you can receive systematic guidance for the whole of the path from a teacher, individual guidance. So this program can act as a standalone program. You can just do the Dharma training program, or you can do it and with the intention of moving into the next programs. So the Bodhi program I mentioned, just a little bit more about these, is where we do Döndrup. It's basically a 2 to 3 year program. And if you feel you want to be in a program, you already have a really solid foundation in Vajrayana, you can apply for the Bodhi program, or soon we'll be able to, because we have a Bodhi program that will be starting in 2021. So the applications aren't out yet, but there is one coming up. If you have actually already completed your Döndrup and are interested in moving into the curriculum of the 3-year retreat, we have a Shangpa program which you can apply for right now, because we have one starting in August of this year, August of 2020. So in the Dharma training program, we are laying the foundation of the Mahayana and the Vajrayana. And it's really essential before moving on to those more advanced practices, because these are very powerful techniques, and they have their own particular language and system and vocabulary. And it can be a bit overwhelming to just leap into that without having this foundation. So the Dharma training serves that purpose. So the aim of the Dharma program, training program, is to provide an authentic transmission of the teachings and the practices, while allowing you to maintain your day-to-day commitments and responsibilities having to do with family and work, etc. And an aim of the Dharma training program is to be integrating all of these practices and teaching every day in your everyday life, every moment. And so it's designed to optimize a deep dive into the path, but allowing the flexibility to be present for your family, to do the work that you need to do in order to function in society. So to further help that, for you to have the capacity to do this in the middle of your daily life, this is a self-paced program. And self-paced in the sense that it takes place in modules of 3 months. And you can continuously sign up for modules, or if you have something going on in your life and for the next 3 months you won't really be able to focus in on your practice and studies, then you can not participate in that module and then join in a module in a module that next works for you. And so basically When you sign up for the Dharma training program, you're given a curriculum, and this is in electronic form. And so basically what you're doing through the program is going through this curriculum. And as you do a module, each module will include several pieces of the curriculum. And at the end of the module, then with the authorization of the Lama, you can check those pieces of the curriculum off. And basically, once you have finished all the pieces of the curriculum, you've finished the Dharma training program. And so a module, I want to let you know what a module involves. A module is about 3 months long. And the bulk of the program, the heart of the program, the delivery of the teachings and practice takes place in our Sukhasiddhi Sunday series. So in the Sukhasiddhi Sunday series, you'll learn a specific practice and you'll receive a teaching. And these are generally 6 weeks in length, so 6 Sundays consecutively. And then also in that 3-month time period, you will attend 3 Awake in the World sessions. So these happen once a month on a Saturday. They're 2 hours long, and they are led by Lama Pat. And this is a setting where you can discuss the practices and talk about how it relates to your life and really do that process of integration. So we're living the teaching. So it's not just this intellectual exercise. So 3 of those once a month. And then at one time during that 3-month module, I'll meet with everyone in the Dharma training program, either for a day long or a half day. And so a check-in and usually a delivery of another piece of the curriculum. And then also a module includes one-on-one interview. And I'm the primary teacher for the Dharma training program, so that interview would be with me. But if you have a strong connection with one of the other Sukhasiddhi Foundation Lamas, you're certainly welcome to have that interview with them. So I'd like to talk a little bit about the curriculum itself. So the curriculum includes 2 residential retreats at Sukhasiddhi Foundation. And then, so that happens over whatever period of time you want to spend in the Dharma training program. So it would have to be a minimum of 2 years. And really the entire curriculum can be taken in 2 years. So it's a 2-year plus program, depending on the frequency with which you sign up for modules. So the practices that one learns while in the Dharma training program is the shamatha of Mahamudra, basically a calm abiding practice, which is laying the foundation for the next practices of Vipassana and then on to Mahamudra. And so this shamatha practice will include breathing exercises and understanding of the importance of posture, because posture is related to the subtle body, and that is really what our practice is all about, getting those subtle winds to flow smoothly through the subtle body. And we also learn the green Tara practice. And right now, people that are in the Dharma training program, they've been doing the green Tara practice and are now engaging in the Tara who dispels epidemics practice, which is happening as a result of this current crisis we find ourselves in. And then we also learn the Chenrezig practice. So Chenrezig is Tara. So Tara is a feminine manifestation of compassion. And Chenrezig is a male or masculine manifestation of compassion. And then we also do Lujong, which is a physical yoga, which is meant to help loosen the blockages in the subtle body. And this is a practice that if one were to go into 3-year retreat, this would be a foundational practice to doing the Trulkor. And then we also do a Tonglen practice. this practice of breathing in the suffering of others and breathing back light. So those are the specific practices. And then also we learn how to create a meditation structure within your life. And this happens in these one-on-one interviews. You can work with your teacher to find a way that really works for you to have a regular practice established, that one that's designed specifically for your life situation. And also some guidance in cultivating a healthy and balanced lifestyle. And then the major teaching topics, I'm not going to list all of the curriculum, but the major teaching topics will include the 5 wisdoms, and that's taking place in this upcoming module, and that includes working with difficult emotions. And then we also study karma and cause and effect and the importance of motivation and intention. We also study the 9 stages of shamatha practice, as well as the 6 paramitas, or the bodhisattva actions: generosity, diligence, morality, patience, meditative concentration, and wisdom. I think I included all of them. So studying those and really integrating those into our life. And also studying the 4 immeasurables, these boundless qualities of kindness, of love and kindness, the boundless compassion, boundless joy, and boundless equanimity. So we study those, practice those, and integrate those into our life. And then we also spend some time studying how we come into this dualistic relationship with our world. This is something I've been talking about in the Facebook live sessions I've been doing on Tuesday and Friday mornings. So specifically, when we're learning about that, we're learning about the 5 aggregates and the 12 links of dependent origination. And then we also learn about the 2 truths, relative and ultimate truth, apparent and genuine reality, and studies and practice in the generation of bodhicitta. So that is that wish to awaken for all beings, which is really the heart of the Mahayana and the Vajrayana path. So we do study and practice to generate bodhicitta, and then we study and practice what it means, study what it means to be on the bodhisattva, the path of a bodhisattva, and leading up to taking bodhisattva vows, if that's something you feel moved to do. And one of the primary types of practice in Vajrayana practice is this creation and completion stage practice, yidam practice. And so we learn the fundamentals of that and come to understand the theory of how that functions and works. We also study Vajrayana practice in relation to death and dying, and how that is applicable actually in our moment-to-moment experience. And we spend a lot of time working with how to turn adversity to the path. This is very, very important, and we can never have enough training, enough training in that. And then also in Vajrayana, the relationship between the teacher and the student is essential and very, very important. And so we talk a lot about the student-teacher relationship, really coming to understand what that is, how to be in relationship with the teacher, how to recognize a teacher that is healthy and a teacher for you, someone that you feel is your teacher. It's very important to understand that relationship. And I want to emphasize again that at Sukhasiddhi, we are really, truly dedicated to creating a safe environment for practice. So you would be working with Lamas that have a high degree of integrity and have nothing in mind other than your liberation and your path. So a little bit about the benefits of the Dharma training program. One is that when we're doing spiritual practice, we're really working against the stream, really working against kind of the flow of society and mainstream culture. And so it's really important to have friends who are also on the spiritual path. In fact, I believe the Buddha said that spiritual friends are the whole of the spiritual path. It's very important, very helpful. And so when we're in the Dharma training program, you're within a supportive cohort of people who are also wanting to have a similar motivation and intention in waking up and really integrating the practices of having an open heart and a clear mind. So to do that with others is a great gift. It is very helpful on the path, and those connections, those friendships tend to be very deep and last a lifetime. So it's a real benefit of being in one of these programs. And another benefit is that we're offering an opportunity to come into an experiential understanding of the teachings and understanding of the basic foundation of the Vajrayana path in particular. And one is getting instruction, individualized instruction in silent meditation and how to work with the mind, as well as moving into practices such as Tara or Chenrezig. And so I've said this a few times, but I think it's just really important that you're working one-on-one with a teacher. And so you're receiving personal guidance that is grounded in the reality of your life. Because all of us have different requirements and different inclinations. And so this is a way that we can make the practices work for you. So moving into the length of the program, I've already spoken a little bit about that. But because it's self-paced, there's no definite length of the program. If you are taking in modules in sequence and not skipping any, and you have not studied any of these practices before, it takes about 2 years to complete the program. If you do have some of these teachings, you can be in communication with the teacher, and there might be a way to waive some of those things on the curriculum. Also, if you want to take a piece of the curriculum but it's not being currently offered, you can take that online. Many of our classes have been recorded and would be available to you to do in that way as well. So the practice is generally, the program is generally 2 years long, and that can extend if you are not taking all of the modules. And it actually can extend indefinitely if that's where you want to stay, which is, the practice of Tara or the practice of Chenrezig can take you on the whole path to liberation. So if you find yourself loving the Dharma training program, you can stay in that as long as you'd like. If you find that you want to move on to the Döndrup practice, etc., then you can move into the Bodhi program after you've completed the curriculum. So then a little bit more into the particulars. And I should mention, if you have questions, please leave these in the comments. And in just a couple minutes, I'm going to answer any questions if there are any. And even after this session is over, you can still leave questions in the comments, and I'll respond to those. So the cost of the program. So the cost of the Dharma training program for the first module, for the first quarter, the first 3-month session that you join for, is $375. And for every module thereafter, it's $325. And I want to talk a little bit about what that cost includes. So that includes one of the Sukhasiddhi Sunday series, which is generally a 6-week series on Sunday mornings from 9 a.m. until 12 or 1, depending on what's happening in that 12 to 1 period. That may or may not be a practice that's appropriate for someone in the Dharma training program. But at the minimum, from 9 until noon on Sundays for 6 consecutive Sundays. And this can be done in person once we are meeting in person again, or it can be done online. So you can do this at a distance. And so that cost includes the Sukhasiddhi Sunday series. It includes 3 monthly Awake in the World sessions. That's that 2-hour session on a Saturday with Lama Pat, where we're working specifically on integrating the teachings into our life. It includes 1 day-long or half-day-long session with just the Dharma training program students. And it also includes that one-on-one interview as well. And so I was mentioning in the curriculum that there's the requirement of 2 Sukhasiddhi residential retreats. And so the cost of those is not included in this cost of a module. That's a separate cost. And in terms of financial assistance, Sukhasiddhi Foundation can accommodate some scholarships, some discounts, and that's discussed on an individual basis. And so if that's something that you feel is necessary for you, once you've applied to the program, which I'll explain in a moment, you can then be in conversation with some of the people at Sukhasiddhi to see how we can make this work for you financially. So that leads to how to join the program. So if you go to sukhasiddhi.org, or I imagine if you go to the Sukhasiddhi Facebook page, you can find your way quite easily to the web page. And there you will find that you can click on programs, and then when that list comes up, you would click on the Dharma training program, and on that page there is an application or a link to an application that you can fill out. And then once that's filled out, you'll be contacted within 2 weeks about your application and whether any further discussion is needed, etc. And that is, I think that's just about it about the Dharma training program. I do want to mention that, again, if you feel you actually have already covered the material in the Dharma training program and you're ready to move into the Döndrup, I want to remind you that there is a Bodhi program which focuses on the Döndrup that's starting in 2021. And if you've completed your Döndrup and you are ready to move into the practices that are taught in the 3-year retreat, then you can apply to the Shangpa program, and that is happening very soon. So you would want to apply very soon, taking that same route to the Sukhasiddhi webpage and going to the Shangpa program, and there's an application available there because that begins in August of 2020. So I'm the primary teacher for the Dharma training program, and Lama Pat does the Awaken the World sessions once a month. And so just to give you a little bit about my background, I've been practicing been on the spiritual path, the Buddhist path in particular, for 25 years or so, 25 plus, something like that. And the first 5 years or so, approximately, 5 years plus of my study and training was in the Theravadan tradition. I sat many, many silent retreats and then moved into studies at the Vajrayana. And I've been doing that. So beyond those 5 years of Theravadan practice, it's been 20 plus years of Vajrayana practice. And I completed a 3-year retreat. I did my 3-year retreat from 2002 until 2005. in the Shangpa Kagyu tradition. And in that retreat, we also did some of the major practices of the Karma Kagyu tradition as well. So both these traditions are very close to my heart. I feel a strong connection with the lineage. My root guru, my root teacher, is Bokar Rinpoche, and I was guided very generously and beautifully through my 3-year retreat by Lama Palden with assistance from Lama Drupshu. And after the 3-year retreat, I did a 4-year teacher training program with Lama Palden and Lou Richmond. And I've basically been teaching at Sukhasiddhi since I came out of retreat in 2005. I think I started teaching at the beginning of 2006. So it's been about 15 years or so. And then outside of the Buddha Dharma, I spent about 7 years in training, doing the Diamond Approach training. And my education, my college education, I have 2 degrees in piano performance. I'm a classical pianist. And so when I'm not teaching Dharma, I'm teaching piano or playing the piano. And so that's my history. And I welcome any questions you may have about the Dharma training program. I'm not seeing any. Let's see, do I see any in the comments? Let me just take a look. Yes, I see a note from Marianne. Apologies for the confusion. We originally scheduled this for Zoom, and then we changed this to be a Facebook Live session. So I'm glad you've found us here. And let's see, I'm just looking to see if there's any questions. Yeah, so a question about the application due date. I'm just taking a moment to read. So the question is the application due Monday the 20th? Is the first class on Saturday the 26th and Sunday? I noticed the Saturday class is 10 to 4:30. Yes, so I think you might be conflating 2 things. There is a weekend retreat tomorrow and Sunday, which is 10 to 4:30, and that's on the Medicine Buddha, and that's not a part of the Dharma training program, although people are welcome to fill out an application to come to the Medicine Buddha program retreat, the Medicine Buddha retreat. And then on Sunday the 26th, that's when the Sukhasiddhi Sunday series starts. So that's when the Dharma training module starts. And ideally, one would have their application in by the 20th. And it's okay if that doesn't happen. Just as soon as possible so we can have some time to look at your application and be in contact if need be. So the Sukhasiddhi Sunday series is, the Tara practice is at 10 o'clock, and then the class begins so there's a class on the 5 wisdoms, which I believe begins at 10:15. And this will go until 11:30. And so then there's a half-hour break between 11:30 and 12. And what's happening from 12 to 1 on Sukhasiddhi Sundays for this next series is the Medicine Buddha practice. So if you have received the teachings for the Medicine Buddha practice, you can participate in that practice that's happening from 12 to 1. If you are not going to be doing the Medicine Buddha practice on the Sukhasiddhi Sunday session, then the session for you goes from 9 until 11:30 on Sundays for 6 consecutive weeks. And there's the question of what is not included in, to repeat what's not included in the cost for the module. So again, the cost for the first module that you sign up for is $375. What is not included in that is just the residential retreat. And so any residential retreat you do, there's a separate cost for that. The cost for the module includes all of the basic requirements other than the residential retreat. So it includes the Sukhasiddhi Sunday series, the Awaken the World sessions, the day-long or half-day session that the Dharma training program has with me, one of those, and then a one-on-one interview. So that's what the cost includes. It doesn't include the residential retreat. And so this retreat on the Medicine Buddha that's coming up tomorrow and Sunday, that if you want to participate in that, I welcome you to, and please fill out the application. But it's not a part of the Dharma training program. So I hope that answers that question. And I'm happy to answer all your questions. Yeah, it's a lot of dates, so no problem. Okay, you're welcome. Welcome, Marianne. Thank you for joining us. I'm glad you found us. Okay, so I don't see any other questions coming up. So I think we can part ways now, and this video will be available on the Facebook page, so you can return to it to if you want to review anything that I talked about. And again, you can, after this, leave questions in the comment section, and we'll be answering those. And I would love to have you join the Dharma training program. As I said, I'm of course a bit biased, but I just think the Sukhasiddhi Sangha is just wonderful, and it's a complete joy to work and practice with people that are so dedicated, so heartfelt, and sincere, and really genuine practitioners. So I invite all of you to join us, and that again, that can take place at a distance, or once again when we are again conducting lives in our normal, quote unquote, normal way, we can meet in person and at the center in Fairfax, California. Or if you are out of the area, you can do this entire program from a distance. So thank you for tuning in, and I hope to see you at an upcoming Sukhasiddhi event. Thank you.